What's up, guys? Welcome back to GoHamDiscGolf. I'm Big John, and this is the video that needs to come out. This is the review for the Vibram Obex, the overstable mid-range from Vibram Discs. This is the complement to the Ibex, and these discs were sent to me by Stephen Dodge so that I could do reviews on them, so I could see how they fly, all that good stuff, and then I'd eventually give them away to you guys. So since I'm doing a review on this today, that means I'll be doing the drawing for the giveaway tomorrow. If you have not entered into the giveaway for this disc, watch my previous videos, find out how you can do it. You have until tonight to get in on that. Alright? I do have some footage for you guys showing me actually throwing the disc, showing how it flies, all that good stuff. So before I get into the actual review, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you guys, I'm not sponsored by Vibram. I don't represent Vibram in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to give you guys my honest review of this. I'm going to give you the pros, the cons, the general feelings about it. If this disc sucks, I will tell you guys. If it's great, I'll tell you. I will never sugarcoat anything or lie on a review just because a company asked me to or because I'm paid to say anything. I'm not. Alright, guys? So I'll jump straight into it. First off, let's just go into how it feels. When I first got this disc, I was talking about how flexible it is. It's the first Vibram disc that I've ever really held or thrown, anything like that. I've never really dealt with the rubber before, but it feels really good. The grip is really nice. If you grab it with a power grip, then it feels good in your hand. And I'll come close to the camera and show you. It's got this bead right here. If I put an angle, you can see it lifts up pretty far. This is deeper than like a fingernail, and that bead right there fits in the crease of your knuckle so that you can get a power grip a lot easier, and it feels really comfortable on a backhand. So first off, let me just tell you what Vibram says about this disc. When you go to their website and you're checking out the Obex, this is what it says. The Obex is an overstable mid-range which complements the stable Ibex. Offering a smooth, natural release, this disc loves a headwind and has a surprisingly long glide for an overstable disc. If you need to guarantee your disc does not turn, reach for the Obex. Alright, so having said that, I'll go straight into the pros of this disc. And remember, these are my opinions, okay? These are not, official anything, alright? First thing I'll say about it, and this is true with most overstable discs, is that it holds the hyzer line really well. And you might be able to see this in the footage that I give you. But, I can put this on a really nice hyzer line, and it just holds it and keeps it and lands nicely. I also use I use it for spike hyzers, and, I can throw this guy really way up high, and it's consistently going to come down straight and just spike in right around where I need it to. Alright, talking about low speed stability and high speed stability. With the low speed stability, it's overstable, and it's very overstable when it's moving very slowly. So if you let this go with 50% power to 75% power, it's going to start going to the left. If you're right-hand backhanded, it's starting to start going to the left right away. And that's not a bad thing. It's consistent that way. So if you've got to turn to the left really quick on a hole that goes to the left, pull this guy out. It'll definitely do that. If you put a lot of speed on it, it's going to fly straight. If you can get a lot of flick and a lot of torque out of your wrist, it will fly straight, and then as it slows down, just like a lot of other discs, it's going to start to fade out to the left. But it's got a consistent fade to it. A lot of regular plastic discs, when you throw them really fast, really hard, the slower they get, the more they start to turn. This guy, as soon as he starts to slow down, he'll start to fade. But it doesn't fade more and more and more and more and more the slower it goes. Once it goes down to a certain speed, it'll just hold a consistent fade, which I like. That felt really good. One thing I really like this disc for is Anhyzers. It holds this line beautifully. And for this reason alone, I plan to get an Obex just for myself to keep in my bag for my Anhyzer throws. In the footage of me throwing, you'll see me throw a couple Anhyzers, and they fly nicely. Like a lot of discs that are labeled as overstable, it's not going to fight the Anhyzer that much. It hits the Anhyzer holds it, and then lands nicely. It's a beautiful Anhyzer disc. A lot of overstable mid-ranges that you pick up, you throw them on an Anhyzer and they just fight it really hard and they eventually coming back to the left. This guy doesn't. You throw him with that Anhyzer line, he holds it and he lands very well. So I'm putting this guy in my bag. Well, not this one, I'm giving you guys this one, but I'm getting my own to put in my bag. The last thing I'll say that's a pro for this disc is it's great in a headwind or a crosswind, especially the heavier ones, at least for me. I throw this into a headwind and it still does what I tell it to do. And that's not the case for some other discs. So if you need a headwind mid-range, take a look at the Obex. Alright, as far as downsides to this disc, the cons, the biggest one, and you know, for a lot of discs it would be a game changer for me, it would just be the breaker. I cannot throw this forehand. And the reason for it is the bead that's right here. The bead that I showed you guys, it fits so well into the creases of your knuckles on the underside of your finger that when it's being released, for me, this is just for me guys, but it bounces along those creases so hard that when I finally release the disc, it doesn't have the spin for me. Now that just may be my technique, maybe I throw incorrectly when I'm throwing forehand, but I need a smooth release on my disc, and it doesn't do that for me. It's a great disc, but for Big John, it is definitely not a forehand disc. And the only other downside to this disc is that, for me, it did not do overhand or tomahawk or thumber shots really well at all. When I would throw them, what I expect a tomahawk or a thumber to do is, you know, like they do, is to drop down, hit the turn, and then curve out. It didn't have the turn. If I threw it on a tomahawk, it would stay straight and pancake out. And you know, you could say maybe I was throwing it incorrectly, or I wasn't giving it enough time to do what it needed to do, or I wasn't putting enough speed on it. But guys, I must have thrown about 100 tomahawks trying to get it to roll over the way I can expect other discs to do. So for me, like I keep on saying, these are reviews about Big John throwing them. It doesn't do what I expect a tomahawk to do. So even though I said I'll pick one up, it's not going to be the disc I go to when I need to throw forehands or tomahawks. Now, the last two things I'll mention about this disc, they're not pros or cons. Actually, one of them is a pro, is that it's an extremely consistent disc. It's not going to, you know, do something that you didn't tell it to do. If it flies a certain way, it's because of how you threw it, not because of how it's molded. I hear a lot of guys talking about how they pick up Pro D or DX plastic discs, and they just seem to be extreme. When they throw them, they just do whatever the heck they want to do. But with this disc, it's consistent. You put it on a Hyzer line, it's going to Hyzer. You put it on an Anhyzer line, it's going to Anhyzer. And if you throw it straight, it'll fly straight. If you have the power, it'll fly straight and then fade at the end. It's a good disc. The other thing I'll mention is that this disc does not skip. Now, that could be a good thing and a bad thing. If you're throwing a disc at a hole that is cutting wrong, very hard dog leg, and you need to throw for half the hole, expect your disc to hit the ground, pop up on a skip, and then fly the rest of the way, don't grab the Obex, alright? That's not exactly a bad thing though, because if you're throwing a spike Hyzer and you need your disc to drop down right at the basket, it's going to hit the ground and not move. And my opinion on that is that it's because of this bead, and it's because of what it's made out of. This rubber, when it hits grass or dirt, it just grabs it and stays there. So that's my basic review of the Vibram Obex, and here's some footage of me throwing. I tried to get a few shots you guys could see. I threw some straight shots, some Anhyzers, and some Hyzers. And I want to apologize because I know this isn't like the optimal way of me showing you guys the actual fly of the disc. All my regular viewers, you guys know I'm getting a new camera next week, and I'm getting a tripod that'll make these types of videos a lot easier. So I apologize for anybody coming into this. You're not going to really see too much of the fly of the disc. You'll see my form and me running up and me releasing the disc. But for a couple of the shots, you can actually see where it goes and how it flies. But that's all I have for right now, guys. It's going to get better. Don't worry about that one. It's going to get a lot better than it is. So that's the review of the Vibram Obex, the overstable mid-range from Vibram Discs. And don't forget, I'm giving this very one away. So check out my other videos to see how you can win it. I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to go ham.